Asfanyar, thank you so much for making time for this. I'll dive right into my first question.
Sure.
Having run this business successfully for so long, you realize that business is a game, and you clearly understand this game and its rules very well because you're so good at it. What are your thoughts on this?
First of all, Sa, thank you for coming and giving me a chance to, to represent myself. Well, I've not really understood. No one really understands everything. There's a learning curve every day. And I was fortunate enough to work with my late father for about a decade. And those were very tough years for me, and he was a very challenging man. More than a father, he was a teacher and a boss to me. So yes, I did learn a lot at that time. And being practical, there is no substitute for that. Yes, of course, studies are of a good foundation, but coming daily to your office, to your factory, whatever that might be, and doing it yourself, and working in every department from going down upwards. It was not just that I just sat in the CEO's chair. No, that's not the case. Clearly not the case. I've worked in all departments, worked 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and every day, sometimes even on Sundays. So under a very demanding person. So probably all a mixture of all that has led me where I am today by God's grace. And of course, you have to remember, it's not, I can't claim glory all to myself.
I'm sure when you started working with your father, he taught you, like you said, he taught you some basics of being in business. What values of those did you keep, and did you keep all of them, and what did you have to discard?
You have to know what you're doing. You can't be a team leader, or you can't lead a department or a company if you don't know yourself what's happening over there. What I've inherited from my father are the values. The most important are the values that how to run the company ethically, how to deal with people, when to be courteous, when to be firm. And so we follow all those ethos in the company, whereby we have a very clean repute. Murree Brewery, regardless of what it makes, we have a extra clean repute in all government departments. That is something what I inherited and what I intend to keep. I've inherited wonderful friends of my father's. They are invaluable to me. I've inherited a very good clean name. Due to this clean name, I was elected to the National Assembly back in 2013 to 18. And I've tried to maintain those values in the company. And I have also maintained mostly my father's old relations also, and which are a source of strength to me. I learn from them. I take their advice. I take their help. So that is a big inheritance that I've achieved.
Compounding is a very powerful concept, not only when it comes to money, but also your health, your relationship, your career. And you have chosen to stick to very similar line of work throughout your career, not much diversification in that sense. Is it safe to assume that you have a monomaniacal focus and you did this by design?
My forte is food and beverage. And every day I hear this, why don't you go into cement, into this and that? Why not? But I think first I have to excel in my own business. That's what I know, that's what I'm good at. And I've also seen people, when they diversify too much, there's also a downfall to it. And I'm the only one, unfortunately, in the family working in the business, and I've got my plate full. And diversifying would further take me away from many things, from the most important thing, which is family. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of, once you diversify, you have to actually put in time and effort. So I would rather put my time and effort in whatever I'm doing, whatever I know best. And of course, there are other people also. Let other people do other things.
Behind such legendary work like you do through your politics, through your business, and even in your personal life, and you do so much philanthropy, yet you're so highly motivated. I wouldn't say motivated, but you bring passion and energy to anything that you do. And there could be days when you feel down, you don't feel like showing up, you don't feel like going to work, or just sick, or but you still have to power through. What are the mental narratives that you tell yourself at that time to get yourself off the feet and for action?
There's an old saying, I'm sure you must have heard it, this too shall pass.
Yes.
We all have good days and bad days. That's nothing new. But yes, one does feel let down sometimes. I don't know how to say it, but the respect that one would wish of an honest businessman in Pakistan, it's lacking over there. I've seen businessman is the weakest link in Pakistan, whereas it should be one of the strongest. No one can touch media. No one can definitely touch the army. No one can. Touching the government and the politicians is also tough. Nowadays, touching the poor is also become difficult because they come on the streets and do something. But the easiest way to put someone under your foot is a businessman in Pakistan, unfortunately. So yes, when there are road hurdles from various government departments, I deal with about a dozen government departments.
You're an example of true grit. You've been criticized often, quite often, for obvious reasons, which I'm not going to bring up. And especially here, we live in a society which is very easily distracted by what other people are doing or thinking. And even for me, it was a process of grounding myself in discipline and my work ethic, and to reach that point where I stop caring what other people think and just focus on myself. But for someone who is watching right now, and I want to know what your perspective on this is, how can they stop caring what other people are thinking and actually start executing towards their own wishes and dreams and goals?
The answers vary from person to person. I used to care a lot what others think. But as experience catches up, as age catches up, you feel less about them. They don't become important in your life anymore. This is what has happened to me, that what others think, I would say, what the hell, I can't change anyone's opinion. I can't change anyone's opinion about anything. Neither can you. So it's best that you just keep your head focused, head down, focus on the problem or the growth or whatever. And the best thing is not to reply. That's what I found out. Yeah. I used to be very abrupt in replying. Make sure the other person gets the reply. But now I think I've changed my opinion. The best thing is to ignore, not to reply. And because if you reply, it's just feeding into what the other person wants. So my suggestion to you or to anyone would be just ignore what others think.
There are a lot of millennials in this country who are sort of lost, and they don't have a sense of purpose or connection, and they just don't have a general sense of direction or focus. If anyone wants to really start finding their passion or purpose or calling in life right now, and they're watching, are there any tools, tactics, strategies, or mindset things that they can start implementing today to start executing on that stuff?
You see, I conduct a lot of interviews in my line of work, and I've seen a lot of degrees, but zero common sense. Basic zero common sense. I'm not trying to degrade anyone. It's, we're going through a phase of generation which does not really want to work hard. They are looking at shortcuts. And I've given millions of interviews wherever and always I've said that there is no shortcut to anything. There's no shortcut to even finding a girlfriend. You have to really work hard for that, which we have done in our days. And as a nation, I've seen we have become lazy. We are not on time. We love to take holidays. We always have an excuse for not putting up that report, doing the job on time. We always have an excuse for not completing the order. If it's an export order, he's not going to wait for you. The importer sitting in New York, he's not going to wait for you. And this is a problem that we are not punctual, we are not we don't take the job seriously. The morals, the ethics have changed of this generation. And I'm talking of the whole generation over here. The hard work, getting up early, trying to learn a trade, trying to master the trade is not there anymore.
You clearly realize that everyone gets 1,440 minutes in a day, and you're so busy, yet you seem to have so much freedom in your day and in your life. Are there any rules or principles that you go by? For example, for me, I found that working in 30-minute chunks or 1-hour chunks allowed me to focus and structure my time better. But what do you do to get the most out of your day?
Again, it goes back to my earlier statement. The training that I've had, it was almost like PMA, something like that. If you're going to get the most, I've been taught and hammered into me that I have to get up early in the morning to get the most out of the day. I don't have any set routine, 1-hour chunks, half an hour, nothing like that. I can work, but I've seen the late people are most. I'm not a late person. I'm an early person, early to rise and early to bed. So I think being positive, getting up early, and loving what you're doing. I like what I do, and I'm not doing this for anyone's favor. I'm doing it for my own conscience. And I have to look after what I've inherited. I can't just play it all away in fun and games. So there's a huge responsibility on one's shoulder, whereby I'm responsible for the livelihood of, as I said, many shareholders, employees, and we are a public limited company, you remember.
Guys, there's some really powerful lessons in this conversation. I know I'm going to rewatch it, and you should too if you want to benefit from this. If you haven't done so, hit subscribe, and until next time, goodbye.